Have you ever heard of Amrapali? She was a famous courtesan who later became a female Buddhist monk. Amrapali is mentioned in ancient Pali texts and Buddhist traditions, especially in connection with the Buddha staying at her mango grove, Ambapalivana, where he delivered the well-known Ambapalika Sutra. In this video, we are going to explore the journey of Amrapali, from a royal courtesan who enjoyed the lapse of luxury to a Buddhist monk who renounced all worldly possessions. Amrapali, also known as Ambapalika or Amra, was born around 600 to 500 BCE. Her exact origins hold a touch of mystery. There is an intriguing story about her name itself. It is derived from Sanskrit, Amra, which translates to mango, and Palawa, which translates to young leaves or sprouts. Legend suggests she was spontaneously born at the foot of a mango tree in the royal gardens of Vaishali, the bustling capital city. Even as a young maiden, Amrapali was exceptionally beautiful and ethereal. Legend has it that a feudal lord named Mahanaman was so captivated by her beauty that he abandoned his kingdom and relocated to Ambara village, a small hamlet near Vaishali, just to be closer to her. Amrapali blossomed into a lady of extraordinary charm and grace, her talent flourishing in many art forms. She wasn't just a gifted dancer, but also skilled in music, poetry, and even martial pursuits like archery and horse riding. Many young nobles were drawn to her captivating presence. However, a tragic turn of events marked her personal life. When King Manudev of Vaishali witnessed Amrapali's mesmerizing dance performance, he became obsessed with possessing her. In a cruel act, he reportedly murdered Amrapali's childhood love, Pushpakumar, on their wedding day. Following this heinous act, the king declared Amrapali as the official bride of Vaishali, the Nagarvadhu. She was also bestowed with the prestigious title of Vaishali Janpad Kalayani, an honor given to the kingdom's most beautiful and talented woman for a period of 7 years. While she had the privilege to choose her companions, the custom dictated that she couldn't be exclusively committed to one person. As the Nagarvadhu, Amrapali's fame soared. Her exceptional talent and beauty attracted a multitude of admirers, and her performances are said to have contributed significantly to Vaishali's cultural prestige. The price to witness her artistry was a hefty sum, and her wealth reportedly surpassed that of some kings. News of Amrapali's beauty traveled far and wide, reaching the ears of Bimbisara, king of a neighboring kingdom with whom Vaishali had a tense relationship. Intrigued, Bimbisara launched an attack on Vaishali. Unbeknownst to Amrapali, he then sought refuge in her very house, disguised as a commoner. Through their shared love of music, a bond began to grow between them, blossoming into love. However, when Amrapali discovered Bimbisara's true identity, she was enraged. How could she love someone who brought war to her city? Filled with righteous anger, she demanded he leave immediately and end his hostilities towards Vaishali. Smitten as he was, Bimbisara agreed to her wishes, although it made him appear cowardly in the eyes of the Vaishali people. Some accounts even suggest they had a son together. Years later, fate seemed determined to test Amrapali once more. Ajatashatru, Bimbisara's son, ascended the throne. A dispute with his brothers led him to invade Vaishali. Having heard much about Amrapali's beauty, he sought her out. Upon meeting her, he too fell under the spell of her charm, and a relationship blossomed between them. But their happiness was short-lived. The people of Vaishali disapproved of their union, viewing it as scandalous. Amrapali was even imprisoned for what they deemed immoral behavior. Witnessing her suffering, Ajatashatru, consumed by rage and a desperate need to save her, burned down a significant portion of Vaishali. The city lay in ruins, hundreds perished in the inferno, yet Amrapali was spared. However, the devastation she witnessed left her heartbroken. The city of her birth, where she had known both joy and sorrow, was now a smoldering wasteland. Disgusted by the violence and heartbroken by Ajatashatru's actions, she ended their relationship. Throughout these trials, Amrapali had heard about the Buddha and his teachings. Intrigued by his message of peace and enlightenment, she desired to meet him and offer him a meal. The Buddha, ever compassionate, accepted her invitation. There are different accounts of what transpired next. One version tells us that Amrapali was so deeply moved by the Buddha's presence and the serenity he radiated that she decided to renounce her life as a courtesan. She donated all her wealth and possessions to the Buddhist community and may have even chosen the path of a nun, devoting herself to a spiritual life. Another story suggests that Amrapali fell for a young Buddhist monk from the Buddha's retinue. Drawn to him, she invited him to her residence and even proposed he stay for a few months. However, the monk, bound by his vows of celibacy, agreed only if the Buddha himself granted permission. Jealousy flared among the other monks, who quickly reported the situation to the Buddha, hoping for a harsh punishment. But the Buddha, ever wise, simply smiled and gave the young monk permission to stay. After the designated period ended, the monk returned to the monastery, but not alone. Amrapali, clad in the saffron robes of a nun, accompanied him. The Buddha, it seemed, had foreseen this outcome. Amrapali, unable to sway the monk from his vows, had instead been swayed by the power of his faith. She had chosen to renounce her materialistic life and embrace the Buddhist path alongside him. Whichever version holds truth, Amrapali's story remains a testament to the transformative power of spiritual awakening. Despite the hardships she endured, she ultimately found solace in the Buddha's teachings. Her journey, filled with love, loss, and ultimately a spiritual awakening, continues to resonate with people today. It serves as a reminder that even amidst the storms of life, there is always the possibility of finding peace and purpose.